Welcome everyone. We're here today with a very interesting subject that we feel is um, important and not well articulated in the space of men's healing, in the space of healing in general. So today we're going to be talking about desire and the shadow aspects of desire, how it manifests in the body, and who we become when desire doesn't manifest as our ego has perceived it. Um, since this community is also going into the spiritual landscape, we also want to tackle um, categories such as spiritual bypassing and the desire to become more spiritual and doing it from the head in order to reach a certain reward or a certain something in the future. So we might be opening up some things that are triggering. If you feel that you are triggered, that's a good sign. Embrace it, fall in love with the trigger, and just know you are not alone.
Thank you. Yeah, I had this topic actually with a friend of mine, and it's um it's a woman that I had this conversation with, and I told her that I'm learning to, when I feel this sexual attraction to a woman, that I learn to channel it vertically. So here we are, the vertical man, talking about divine desire, and what's present for me right now is the divine desire is not in my head. Sure, it is. You mentioned the paradox before we come into this recording, but it's also it's not just a thought, right? It's not just mental, it's very physical. And every time that I feel sexual energy arising in my lower energy centers, even in my penis, to just name it, I learn to, through a certain type of breath, to channel it up my spine, to channel it up my central energy channel that goes along the middle of my body, and really sit in that feeling. And every time that I do this, I come out stronger. When I got lost in this lower energy center and some unconscious pattern, shows up in that way, that that I haven't been aware of, this behavior that I'm stuck there, that I focus all the energy in this area, I always lost.
Mm,
I lost energy, I lost focus, I lost clarity,
mm,
all of those things, and it's also shown in the way that I communicate. So sitting here with you today it's very beautiful because there's lots of energy moving these days in my body.
mm,
Um, as I am, also very attracted to a woman these days,
mm,
and for me to be in a relationship of distance, honoring myself, detaching, but also honoring the attachment to it, because there is a reason why we are physically, attached to some things, and it's not even bad. We also talk about like detaching. Yeah, but there's another truth at the same time, which is we are attached to one another. We are connected to one another. And I think we have to always look at two sides,
mm,
at least, in order for us to, yeah, learn and to earn the wisdom from the experience. Because if I try to let everything go, someday will come, it comes back to me. I have to look at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I wanted and just what's been present for me right now.
Beautiful, brother. Thank you.
Hmm.
I wouldn't have put it any differently. Looking back since from my teenage years and also in my 20s, you look at those years and you have a clarification. Your mind can understand what happened. But it's desire in the present moment, really, what's happening now is what calls me into more and more presence. And you know, my desire as in a shadowy part, like when it comes out as shadow, is it's intense. Like I could feel something pulling me out of my center. And that's something, that energy is moving through um, my penis. It also moves through my heart. And it wants to run. It wants to conquer. It wants to lay with everybody. And it's so animalistic in nature. Then what you just said, when we start to detach from it, we detach from something that is pure within us. Like there's nothing wrong with that energy moving through. It's just we came in a culture, you know, since 7 or 8, we are being programmed to sexualize everything. And it's very interesting to see, like when I got into my addictions in my 20, was all related to intensity. um, and that addiction, really, when I see it 10 years ago and I see it now, the energy is still there. It's still intense. It wants to it wants to get out, but the body is so tense that I don't know how can I let it out. And um, my current path now is a path of finding the in between and being very kind with myself. So I've reached, I think, last year a decision to stay more in solitude and get out when I needed to challenge myself and how I can remain centered as all beautiful God's creation in women start to move through me, and I don't have a ripple. And that ripple is beautiful because what happens to a man naturally is he tenses up. you know, Sometimes they're on the other side of the scale. There is peace through it, that this woman can pass through you and you don't, it doesn't invoke in you um, that energy. And what happens is that when you feel that, you naturally go into withdrawal because your mind is getting starved of its nutrients, and new neural pathways are being formed. So you're literally reprogramming lots of stuff. But it's hard. It's hard. It's like a chain on the body, and it takes time and it takes these spaces to actually talk about it. So I'm really curious to understand more and more. Um, we've covered the shadow parts of desire, but let's cover more of when desire is or looks innocent. It doesn't have to be sex. It might be in your work, a desire to become financially free, or even a desire to become spiritually enlightened. They're all desires.
Thank you. I have experienced both till the now. I like to speak in the past because now we're just reflecting on on the past. And damn, damn. So there was a time like 5 years ago where a lot of things shifted for me, like drastically, because I was put into a position physically that showed me that okay, I can't do, act, behave, any longer that way, and then because I have denied the aspect of me that one like that goes forward, that gets things done, that is proactive. Like, I have been on this one side so much
Mm,
of being, don't really necessarily want to call it lazy, but denial. Denial of me actually wanting to produce, me actually wanting to create, but I haven't took action on it. To the opposite pole of overdoing, trying to overachieve, thinking that I need to get everything done. And there has been big value in that as well, in like challenging me physically with having immense pain in my body but running. Like, my legs, were crushed from a car accident, and I've been running after 2.5 weeks. I had ice baths, cold exposure, stuff like that, like weekly, daily, and swimming in the cold waters. And they have all been great to bring me back, but there was no balance. There was just go, 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 go. Because those things are beneficial, but they can trap me as much as the opposite pole, trap me. So it took me a while to recognize that. I had to fall down many times. Excuse me. So this is that. And to the enlightened aspect, also because I have denied the inner wisdom for so long. Now I thought, now I got it. Now I got it.
mm,
And this is also very dangerous, because if you think you know, the moment we think we know, we actually don't know at all. Because the knowing is not it's not thinking of it, it is being it. It's the embodiment, it's the relaxation of the body, and not trying to push harder and harder and harder, and to tense up and to tense up and to tense up. So I'm in a stage right now where I'm merging those two aspects
oh,
and really bringing it back home.
beautiful. Um, okay. Something that came up as I was hearing you speak is that energy, that energy of the fire, basically, of moving, or just that fire burning us up because we've overused it to the point that we're getting burnt out. Um, I'm really interested to go deeper into the places of how our minds interact with that energy when it comes up, because it's so instinctual, it's animalistic, it's coming from the amygdala, which is comprises like most of our brain, and it's how we survive. So before that charge actually moves through our own body and we find that place of relaxation, our mind might have went into 10, 12 thoughts, trying to consume that energy, or trying to analyze it, or trying to suppress it, or trying to hold it, manage it, and fix it. um, let's go over examples, over how basically our minds can analyze our desire, and just how do you disidentify from all of that?
It's like as soon as I have an opinion, rather than just talking about it,
Mm,
So if I'm having an opinion, it can look like, okay, I have to do this. Alone the thought that I have to do this. It's like, no, my body is moved in that direction. And me just like knowing that I'm doing it. Like
mm,
that which is in front of me because I know that it feels right.
mm,
Like there's just this knowingness that we all have within us. How our body tells us the truth, but it's not me thinking that my body needs sex right now, that my body needs this food right now, that my body needs this cigarette right now, that my body needs whatever right now.
mm,
You know, it is it is not that, because as soon as I justify or I try to, find a reason for me to do it, that's already very difficult.
mm,
Let's take the cold exposure as an example.
mm,
If I think I have to show a cold in order that I just had this. So I have a long day. Now I feel very slow. I know I have these two colds lining up. I know that if I have the cold shower, I can, let go of lots of stress, but I haven't really felt stressed.
mm,
There was just this like, I wanted to get, there was this one option, let's say, for me to go into this cold shower and to kind of activate something in me.
mm,
I had this opinion that if I do this, then that.
mm,
Then I just let that go, get myself ready to have a shower, and I just chose to shower nice and warm
mm,
and just keep being relaxed. Not trying to get anywhere, but
mm.
just being in the moment and honoring my current state that I'm in. So
Yeah,
yeah, and it's been very beneficial.
beautiful. Um, for me, um, I have for some time now tried to get curious. In the beginning of when I knew that okay, I had an energy problem, and the energy that was raising into my brain, and my brain was sending back feedback, and that whole wiring needed to be accessed. So sometimes when I have this bolts of desire on the street, and I have this kind of so I'm basically for those of you who don't know, I don't look at women. I have tried to start to practice, and sometimes I fail. But basically, if I feel that my body's tensing up and my woman is coming my way, I don't look. I don't give her that charge. And sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed, and sometimes I batter myself for failing. Um, so something of when this desire comes and it's so fast, it goes up to the head. And when it goes up to the head so fast, it comes up with secondary emotions for me. And when I just, of course, using breath work and meditation, just slow down the moment and just ask myself, okay, there's a bolt. My heart is kind of a rock. There is fire. But what's really underneath if I don't act on it? And most of the time for me, wow, the amount of knowledge and hidden shadow underneath all of that instinct was a lot. I could go on rambling for hours, but basically what I found is underneath it all is fear and shame. And that fear is a sense in me that I have that my body animalistically finds a mate, a potential mate animalistically, and it wants to mate at that moment. It's just like two cats, one masculine, one feminine. It just happens. You know, we have that sense. We have that sense, and it moves through us. But because the instinct is so strong, it's like a shot inside the body. And basically, we have ego that is systemized to keep us safe. So we start to try to lower the dose. And what I always ask myself, okay, what's happening now if I don't look? A lot of shame and fear will come up. And that fear of, okay, what if we miss out on that? You know, and somehow Disney programming of what if she is the one? I still have it. I'm 33 and I still have it. Um, and interestingly, when I feel all of this, now I have to go back and start to mother and father myself. So I start to do some inner child work to really, you know, tap and hug my inner child because there was no um, somatic education on that. So somehow that bolts of instincts and energies just trapped um, behind.
Give me one moment. I lost your voice again. I gotta go out and back in. It's so fucking weird with the school call. So I know you can hear me right now. So for all of the people who join us in this recording, we're recording this on school. It's a platform to build communities. And, you know, every time for a few weeks, when someone enters the call or someone unmutes inside the call, I just don't hear anyone anymore. So I'm just going out and in, and I ask us, all three of us, just to hold a moment of silence so we can keep the energy that we're building right now. I'm back in a minute, in just a moment.
And a disturbance of peace.
Alright, so there
So
is some background noise from Jeremy, I think. We are recording a podcast, so I ask kindly to somehow look that we are not disturbed inside this recording, so we can continue. So if Jeremy, if you can unmute, and if we are, asking you to speak, then just unmute, and then I go out and in. So yeah, just muted you, Jeremy, in order for us to keep the recording as clean as we can possibly keep it. So yeah, brother, would you like to
so yeah.
review what we've been going through so we can keep
Hmm,
keep the stage set?
beautiful. So just to conclude that this power, this fire, when it moves through our body, we are invited to go deeper on a somatic level and even have this curious observing sense of what's going on, what's underneath my desire, and how is my mind, or what is the relationship between my mind. If you have done a lot of work disidentifying with from your thoughts, you'll still see that the thoughts go on, the programming goes on. And it's about kindly, and with curiosity and kindness, to just open and have that courageousness to just open up, that Pandora's box, and really understand, okay, what's underneath all of this fire. And also, some other men, and this is something that I'm not going through, but another man would have that energy, just there is none. And this is something that it's natural because it's the end of the scale regarding mine. And it's very good to see that even if you don't have that energy, there is something underneath that. And most likely it's going to be shame, or most likely it's going to be fear. And once we open up our body, we start to reclaim our sexuality. We start to to reclaim the part of us that has this fire to create without overburdening itself. So I'll finish with that, and would love to open the floor, brother. If you want to go, go.
Yes, so Jeremy just wants to listen today. I think it's perfect what we're doing right now, as well as I want to continue to speak on what you just named before um, Jeremy came in, because you said that when you go in the streets, you don't look at women, and if you do, then right. So I play with both. I play with me not looking at women. If I feel I don't want to transmute that energy, I just need to do that self-care, and to just like really focus on that self-care aspect, because like there's so much happening if we are not in our center. There's so much energy that just naturally happens between men and women, or feminine, masculine, if and only if masculine and feminine within me aren't balanced. So this is the journey, I think, that we're talking about here,
Mm.
also through tensing up and to relax, right? It's the giving and the receiving. So sometimes when I look at women and I feel strong, I can actually channel that energy, and I can take it down and I can take it back up, and I'm like, okay, or I'm free. God, what do you want me to do? God, I free myself, to have you work through me. I'm in service to this person that is in front of me. And speaking about the divine desire, I think the divine desire is actual service. And I think the real joy is service. So I'll keep it with that.
Beautiful. Just would love to end with what a beautiful divine service it would be if women would walk the streets feeling safe, because man is not throwing and bombarding her energetically with his sexual thoughts and sexual energy.
That's so powerful, bro. That's so
Yeah,
powerful, because it's also you know, when man and woman walk like a couple walks, or let's take the example with a couple that could be friends as well, but there
yeah,
might be unresolved issues from either side of them, that they are somehow attracted to one another, even sexually intimate, like that some of them may has a hidden agenda, and the energy that comes up. Let's take the example of the couple, like you as I don't know, like as a single person. Not that I say you're single necessarily, not in a relationship, but as an individual walking the streets alone, or sitting at the cafe alone, sitting at the beach alone,
mm,
and witnessing a man and a woman walking by.
mm,
This interaction and this triad can be so intense.
yeah. I
It
hear
can
you.
be so intense, because this is this like when this power struggle comes in, like between two men, or it can even be different. Like it can be a woman
Yeah,
who observes a man and a woman, and if just one of those three has unhealed traumas, you will see it in the way that they interact. It's
yeah,
actually fun to observe, but it's insane. It's
yeah,
very insane. And I've been observing this within myself, because I'm part of the collective. Um, I love women. I respect men. I want to be the best that I can be, and I know that I chose in this incarnation to work through that. So, having given certain aspects of my mom, having given certain aspects of my dad, the things that they haven't healed, I incarnated into those pattern without
Mm,
me maybe sometimes not even realizing that. So I like, why do I have these thoughts? I
mm,
don't want to think this way. I like her. She looks awesome. Bro, I honor you. I don't want to make anything wrong. And then there's this internal conversation. Oh,
it's
damn.
it's a conflict.
It's, wow. Speak on it, bro. Speak on it. Yeah.
Um, I
Ooh,
remember I remember one time, and I'm living in a village called Dahab. So come join, enjoy the place. It's a beautiful place.
beautiful. I've been there
Uh,
twice.
the one thing that is just pulling me to move out of this beautiful village is the sexual energy that is, how can I say this, unintegrated. So there is a liberation in this part that people here could sexually come and express, whatever it is, through tantra, through freedom of expression, whatever it is. And I remember, and I'm gonna, what you exposed was a trinity, so a man and a woman and one man. I will expose a man and a woman and another man and a woman. And I remember one time, me and my partner were going, and we're moving through difficult situations, and we're going to the part of the beach, and we're staying in a place that is has beautiful solitude, but somehow, brother, and I really, this is what I got really fascinated by all of the sexual energy. I could feel by a sense of a smell that, I don't know, like 50 meters or 60 meters, there is unintegrated, beautiful sexual energy moving through. I could feel it within my body first. And then I look and I find two um, couples, whatever it is, they're making tantric yoga. And brother, I lose myself for 3 seconds. But that 3 seconds was just, you know, destruction, hell, and misery and grief. And this is where I got to understand what is a brother wound and what is a sister wound. So
Hmm.
when I was with my partner on the streets, I would get normally women who wouldn't be interested in me because I know they don't know me. But the fact that I have a woman of whatever status, value that is perceived by the other woman starts to give me some validation or some attention. And this brings the sister wound into complete disaster because man receiving that need, we're not similar to women. So women are, they grow up, most women, they have someone who's chasing them. But for men, most of the time we're the one chasing. So that sense of being wanted as a man from different women, man, that if he doesn't have that sexual discipline, is bound to let that energy of the woman in. And once that energy moves in, your container with the woman that you're with is sabotaged because she feels that energy coming in. And I remember looking at that couple in the beach, and I'm feeling all of this desire, and I lost it for 2 to 3 seconds. My partner was killing me afterwards. But I remember I wasn't there. 3 seconds. I felt like it's a 1 second, but for her, it was eternity. And all I was thinking of, that desire is moving through me. And underneath it, when I sat with it, underneath it was greed. Underneath it was inadequacy from my side. Underneath it was comparison. Underneath it was, what do you have, brother, that I don't have? Why do you have this woman and why do you have this confidence to sit on a beach and play that yoga and transmute all of that sexual energy? Why don't I have it? And that just puts me in scarcity mode. And once I'm in
Mm.
scarcity modes, I'm outside of divine realm. I'm just back in. And and this is why I really, for any man who wants to take his life back, the biggest invitation and challenge for every man and every woman as well is to integrate that sexual energy and become you really curious what's under that desire. Is it fear? Is it greed? Is it inadequacy? Is it desire to bring God on earth because that's divine desire? Yeah, or is it desire to become somebody else in order to receive transactions? So it's a big realm. And I think the time has come to really speak about it and to really talk about it and trigger some people up. So in order that they can become um, open to discover who they are, because underneath all of that energy is just men who says, "This is just who I am. This is normal. This is just men are visually stimulated easily by women." And men would start to convince women, their partners, mentally that he doesn't have anything while his sexual energy is moving through. So woman has two options here: either fight back and resist for the man that she's fighting for, or just self-deceive herself and lose her femininity as this guy is just open to receive right, left, and center. And in the end, there is no right and wrong. It's just, what do you want, brother? Really, do you want a conscious relationship with one woman,
Mm.
or do you want to taste that desire and act it? Some people don't wake up until they enact it. You have a guy called Dan Bilzerian. He's a very known figure that was going on cruises with 15 women by himself. And then that last podcast really blew me off. He said the moment I started to wake up was when I went on a cruise that was 30 kilometers long and with 30 women, and I wasn't as happy and as joyous when I went on a cruise that was 15 kilometers long and with 15 women. This is where he just woke up to sense that this fire is not here to be used in that um, pleasuring of the senses. Because afterwards we start to just all of those senses starts to dampen. We start to lose our radiance, and this is the paradox. And I'll leave it there.
Thank you, brother. And it's a beautiful way to bring this to an end, I feel also. I think this should give many of us time to, just be present and to honor presence as a gift and to really look inside what we want. And it's a beautiful time to do that. I ask us to not be distracted, when we choose to spend time in a setting with other beings, no matter if men or women, to really choose presence over action and to stay as present as we can, especially when we have a space where very, very deep things are discussed. And I'm really asking for that to be honored and to reflect everyone who listens, everyone who is present, in this moment in time, no matter if in this room or in the recording, to really see, rather or not, we're giving our best in being present and honoring the people that we are with. So I am asking for a moment of reflection, everyone who is here right now, to sit inside the body and the back of our, the backbone of who we are, that which gives us strength. And take a breather into that consciously, and to move on with grace, compassion, and forgiveness. So thank you everyone who listens. My brother and I will continue to do these things. And yeah, see you in the next one.
See you next week, brother.